When I was just a baby, in fact, growing up in Connecticut, my parents got me started in print work in New York City. So they used to take me there to get me involved in catalogs and stuff like that. Then I took a little bit of a detour and spent 20 years in a corporate finance role. Then had a kind of a life-changing event occur at the end of last year, which enabled me to kind of break away and start acting full-time at the first of this year. So that was kind of an opportunity for me to make a shift and pursue a passion that I had wanted to pursue for some time, and since then it's been actually very exciting and very rewarding. There are some things I think every actor should do, and I guess others are specific to what they're used to, but in the training that I had in classes I took this year, a lot of it was about, beyond just preparing by memorization of a script. It was actually making sure that you understand the intent of the character. So what is the character trying to achieve? What are some of the obstacles that the character is going to face? And what is their reaction to some of the things going on around them? So it's really getting the intent behind what you're trying to achieve and what you're involved in, rather than just repeating the lines. That's really the key.
Any teachers you want to give a shout out to? Anyone you just feel like really radically changed your view on acting?
Well, I took classes earlier this year with J.D. Lewis, the Actors Lab. He has a class here in Greensboro, and a lot of the focus on that class was around preparing for an audition and reading, practicing with sides, so being able to play off one another to kind of nail down that intent. So he's originally from LA and moved out here to Charlotte and has been really an invaluable asset. The one big thing that he taught me was don't wait around for somebody to kind of make the perfect role for you. Go out and make it yourself. So to that end, I've gotten involved on the production end of films to actually do work on both sides of the camera, and that's been a big takeaway in taking that class with him. I'd have to say folks like, and maybe this is kind of dating myself a little bit, but I have to say kind of Anthony Hopkins. I mean, if you look at some of the roles he's done, the range and the variation and the intensity comes across as very credible. So I would think if I could get anywhere near that, that would be a great success for me. It would probably have to be Lance in a movie that I'm acting in and also producing called Remnants. We're filming in the Raleigh area. It's one of my bigger roles, and it also allows me a little bit of a comedic opportunity to play off one of the other characters in the film. So aside from having the drama about the catastrophe that takes place in the movie, there's also a little place for levity here and there, which enables me to kind of leverage some of my comedy skills, which people tell me is something that I should try to do as much as I can, since I'm kind of built for comedy in a way. So that's probably my favorite. I have done some writing in the past. And also I was early on, I was very involved in artwork. So I think, and as a Pisces, of course, I'm naturally creative, right? So if you believe in all the horoscope stuff, but I do like to write and also illustrate. And I think at some point in time, I'd like to be involved in some kind of an animated film where you could do a combination of artwork and voiceover, which I think would be pretty fun and interesting to do. Interest behind the camera, absolutely. Again, I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I'm doing on Remnants is also acting as executive producer. So I'm trying to leverage my business skills from my 20 years in corporate finance to be able to work on aspects of film production, such as contract drafts, private placement memorandums, product integration, sponsors, lining up sponsors, and of course fundraising by way of investors. So a lot of the business and finance skills that I've learned in corporate life are transferable in the movie production industry, and it's been something that's been a big help for our production, because I think a lot of times technology has made filmmaking so easy that films are sometimes made without a business perspective in mind, and that causes a high failure rate. It's a very creative industry, and a lot of times you'll have creative folks just get together and want to make a movie, and they kind of ignore the business aspect of a movie, and that's kind of what I bring to productions that I'm working on today, which I'm actually working on 3 different productions in that capacity. And it's been a learning process as well as a rewarding process to be able to bring that to a production. I haven't really done that much voiceover work. I'm actually doing some today. But I would say the biggest difference is obviously in film acting, the camera is ruthless in whatever it captures. So it will capture your facial expressions, your body movements, anything that may be displayed from a physical perspective can come through on the camera, and that could be a benefit or a detriment. So you have to obviously be aware of how you're coming across on that type of a production, whereas in voiceover work, it's really all about voice inflection. So being able to convey a feeling or an emotion or any other aspect just by virtue of your voice.